Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit. Brexit Britain, a country whose Prime Minister is known as Pinocchio, or he has liabilities. He can't lie straight in bed. He's a liability. He's liar, liar, pants on fire. And also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages that you sent me, and a special thanks here to everyone who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with with so much people that have signed up. So thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. So, um, we've had a few more things come out about young Arthur Lavinia Hughes, right? And it seems here that his grandmother, right, had contacted social services, the police and social services again, and the school, right? And obviously the uncle as well had been to had been to the police, went and saw the police about it. Yeah. Now you have to say, you know something. I don't think this child had a chance, right? Because so many reports, right, and he still ends up dead. Do you know what I mean? If there was no reports at all, and this had happened, right, then we could say, you know what? But so many reports, and we know that the social went round and saw this child as well, right? But so many reports, right? And I mean, if someone says, oh well, this child's got a bruise on them, right? Don't the social want, and they've got pictures because I think the grandmother provided pictures, right? So ain't the social supposed to say, well, could we just have a look at the bruise and see where these bruises are, right? Because it looked like the child had a bruise right there right on the just on the top of his shoulder, right? Now most children don't, most children when they fall down or whatever, they don't hurt themselves there. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like when you're falling. Yeah, you put your shoulder out to break your fall. You put your hands out to break your fall, or you put your legs out to break your fall. Right? So you could just literally, you could just tell by where the bruises are on a child. Do you know what I mean? If you've got bruises under your arm, under their arms and all that, do you know what I mean? That only going to be consistent with someone who has done that to that child. Do you know what I mean? If a child's got a broken arm, right, and someone says, well, what happened? The child fell off the bed, or fell off a chair, or fell out of a tree, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Right? That's something different, right? But when you're looking at bruises, right, in places where people don't actually bruise themselves in those places. They never do. It's very difficult to bruise yourself in those type of places. Do you know what I mean? Because when you fall, generally you're falling forward, or even if you fall backwards, you're not gonna bruise yourself there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So so they would have seen all. They would have really seen all these things. Do you know what I mean? And like, as I said, I don't think this kid had any chance at all. Not once. The police knew, the school knew, the social knew. Do you know what I mean? Right? Um, there's going to, they're going to have an investigation. Obviously, the health. One of the ministers come out and says, "Yeah, we're going to have an investigation into the whole thing." But you know what they're going to say. You know what they're going to say. They're going to say, yeah, that all these agencies need to work closer together. Right? That's what they're going to say. They're going to say, and lessons will be learnt. That's what they're going to say. Do you know what I mean? But you have to say, well, but you've known all of that, right? And there was so much reports about this child, and you still never done anything. Do you know what I mean? So your report that comes out and says that lessons get, and we have to work closer together, it just means nothing. It's all meaningless because it doesn't actually mean anything. Do you know what I mean? Once you get on the ground, those things don't mean anything. They can say it. They can say it out in Parliament. They can say it in the media, but on the ground, it doesn't actually mean anything. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so I don't know if you see MP George Freeman. Now, do you know what ministerial post he serves? Nor do I. Right? So, I mean, he was out supporting Boris Johnson the other day. Do you know what I mean, about this whole about the whole parties in Downing Street, because now all of a sudden they're saying, oh, wasn't a party. Oh no, It was more of a soiree. It was just like ooh, it was just, ooh, not a party. It was just like a sort of coming together of people. You know, all people in one room playing party games, but it was not a party though. They was playing games, but not party games. You see, and that's what you've got to remember, right? That you can play games, but they don't have to be party games because you're all in their room eating like cheese and pineapple and sausage on a stick. Right? That does not mean that that's a party, right? And because there's cases of wine, right, or whatever alcoholic beverage you want, right, it's not a party. A party, yeah, is something where invitations are sent out. You might take a bottle to the party. No one took a bottle. Nobody took a bottle. So therefore, right, that's that could be one of the criteria to a party, right? So if you're looking at, right, what a party is, right, it wasn't that. That was like oh God, what can I what a coming together of mutual souls meeting in a room. That's what that was. And I think, yeah, that would have been a much better excuse than what these guys had come up with, right? Because these guys were just like, well, I don't know if there was a party because I wasn't there. I wasn't invited. But so you do get invited to it. No, I wasn't there. He said. He said that he knows that all COVID rules was followed, but he doesn't know if there was a party because he wasn't there. But he does know that all COVID rules was followed. And then there's Dominic Raab, right? The same one, yeah, who was on holiday on his £3,500 a night resort, right? That same bitch there, right? While do you know what people have been murdered in Afghanistan from since we've left, right? And a lot of this is down to Dominic Raab, right? Who was sunning himself, I believe in Crete at the time, sunning himself nicely, right? Staying in a wicked resort, staying in. Do you know what I mean, right? And he was out as well, right? Virtually with the same story. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't at the party. Right? He don't know about the party, but he does know that all COVID rules was followed. No COVID rules was broken. See? So we just have to look. We just have to say, actually, you know what? These guys must be right because they're out saying it, right? And they're saying it in public. And then, if you look at just yesterday, this come through just yesterday, yeah, that the court has upheld, right, Boris Johnson's. Well, they basically agreed with Boris Johnson, right, that Priti Patel is not a bully, even though, right, the Parliamentary Standards Committee, right, found her to be a bully, and Boris Johnson said no, she's not. They said, but we've written a report. We've got a report. It's here. Boris says, no, she's not. No, no, she's not. She's not a bully, and that's it. So one of the unions took him to court, and the court have agreed with Boris Johnson. Now you see, this has been the thing with Boris Johnson's whole life, because when Boris Johnson, I think it was like 15 or something like that, the housemaster from Eton wrote to his dad, right, to tell his dad, yeah, that Boris Johnson, yeah, he basically won't follow the rules, and he believes, yeah, that the rules are made for other people and not for him. And he's had his whole life where he's been able to go through all that. And now you see the courts, right? A court can come to that decision and say, well, actually, right, the Parliamentary Standards Committee are wrong, right, and Boris Johnson is right. Do you know what I mean? So these people, they all appease him. Everybody appeases him. Every single person appeases him. Do you know what I mean? This is the reason why he can get all these politicians to just walk out and just lie for him. Because this has been his whole life. His whole life has been about being appeased by these people. Do you know what I mean? And they've got away with it. They've got away with it their whole life. And it's just, it's completely ridiculous. And now we've got someone who has no business in being in number 10 Downing Street. Absolutely. And even the public over here are fooled by this man. Even the public here are completely fooled by this man. I just find the whole scenario just laughable. Just absolutely laughable. Like the people who vote for Trump and all those people who go crazy for Trump, and you think to yourself, is there something wrong with these people? Right? The man's admitted he goes around grabbing women by the genitalia. Right? And you want to vote for, and that's what you want to vote for, right? His dad gave him $400 million, right? And these people, they really believe that he's a great businessman. He had a casino go bankrupt. Do you know what I mean? And you just say, give me a fucking break, right? Everything that Trump does, right? All he's ever doing is asking people for money. Right? Working people, right, are sending this man $50, $100, money that they can't afford. They can't afford that money, but they're sending it to him, who says he's a billionaire, whose dad gave him 400 million. Right? He's had money. He's had billions off of the Russians, you know what I mean, and probably off the Chinese. He's had billions off all these people, right? And all he's ever doing is fundraising, taking money from working people. Right? You look at his brethren, Steve Bannon. Right? Steve Bannon stole the money from these people. He stole their money. Right? And he's still, right? You think to yourself, he would have been in prison now, right? If Trump didn't, if it wasn't for the fact that Trump pardoned him, he would have been in jail now because he stole their money. Right? Took their money, said he was going to build a wall, stole their money. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. I don't understand these people from they just put up with all sorts of lies and all sorts of nonsense. But you see, this is, I always tell people, this racism level, right, it can only hurt the countries these people are in. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're putting in people like Trump and Johnson, right, people who, do you know what I mean, who have no respect for anybody, they've got no respect for anybody else. Right? If Johnson had respect for people, he wouldn't get all these people to come out and lie for him like this. Right? Because that's all he does.